So hello everyone, in this audio class we will discuss the 20 most important questions from the chapter Land Resources and Agriculture from the book India, People and Economy. These questions will be very much important for your upcoming KVS NBS Geography interview. So let's get started with the question number 1. Why is land considered one of the most valuable natural resources? So land is one of the most valuable natural resources because it supports all human activities. It provides space for agriculture, industries, transport, settlement and forests. Since land is limited and cannot be increased, it must be used carefully for sustainable development. For example, the Indo-Gangetic Plain is one of the most productive agricultural regions because of its fertile land. Next question, why is proper land resource management necessary in India? So India has a large population but limited land resources. Rapid population growth, urbanization, industrialization and deforestation have increased pressure on land. Therefore, scientific land use planning is necessary to ensure sustainable development and food security. For example, agricultural land around Delhi, Mumbai and Bengaluru is gradually being converted into urban land. Next question, explain the major factors affecting land use pattern in India. So the land use pattern in India is influenced by the both physical and human factors. Physical factors include relief, climate and soil, and human factors include population density, technology, land ownership and government policies. For example, Rajasthan has more pasture land because of its arid climate, while Punjab has a high percentage of cultivated land due to fertile alluvial soil. Next question, why has the net sown area remained almost constant in recent decades? So the net sown area has remained almost constant because most suitable agricultural land is already under cultivation. At the same time, urbanization, industrial development and infrastructure projects are reducing cultivable land. Therefore, increasing agricultural production now depends more on improving productivity than expanding cultivated land. For example, cities like Hyderabad and Pune have expanded over nearby agricultural land. Next question, what is land degradation and what is its major causes in India? So land degradation is the decline in the quality and productivity of land. The major causes are deforestation, soil erosion, overgrazing, mining, excessive use of chemical fertilizers and improper irrigation. Land degradation reduces agricultural productivity and affects sustainable development. For example, mining has caused severe land degradation in parts of Jharkhand, Orissa and Chhattisgarh. Next question is, what is the difference between net sown area and gross cropped area? So net sown area is the total area sown with crops at least once in an agricultural year, and gross cropped area is the total cropped area including the area cultivated more than once in the same year. Therefore, gross cropped area is always equal to or greater than the net sown area. In Punjab and Haryana, the same field is often used for both wheat and rice, increasing the gross cropped area. Next question, what is cropping intensity and why is it important? So cropping intensity refers to the number of crops grown on the same field during one agricultural year. Higher cropping intensity increases agricultural production without expanding cultivated land. It also improves farmers' income and food security. Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh have high cropping intensity because of irrigation and modern farming techniques. Next question, how has the Green Revolution changed Indian agriculture? So the Green Revolution introduced high yielding variety of seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers and modern farm machinery. It increased food grain production, especially wheat and rice. However, it also increased regional disparities and excessive use of groundwater and chemical fertilizers. For example, Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh benefited the most from the Green Revolution. Next question, why does agriculture vary from one region to another in India? So agriculture varies because different regions have different relief, climate, soil, rainfall, water availability and technology. Farmers also grow crops according to market demand and local conditions. For example, rice is mainly grown in West Bengal and Assam due to high rainfall, while wheat is mainly grown in Punjab and Haryana because of fertile alluvial soil and irrigation. Next question, why is irrigation essential for Indian agriculture? So Indian agriculture depends largely on monsoon, which is uncertain and uneven. Irrigation provides water during dry periods, increases crop production, supports multiple cropping and reduces the risk of crop failure. For example, canal irrigation in Punjab and tube well irrigation in Western Uttar Pradesh have increased agricultural productivity. Next question, what is the difference between net sown area? So just wait for. So the next question is, why is Indian agriculture known as the monsoon gamble? So Indian agriculture is called the monsoon gamble because a large part of cultivated land is still depends on monsoon rainfall. If the monsoon is delayed, deficient or excessive, agricultural production is affected. For example, rain-fed agriculture in Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh is highly dependent on the southwest monsoon. Next question, differentiate between dryland farming and wetland farming. So dryland farming is practiced in areas receiving less than 75 centimeter rainfall. It mainly grows drought resistant crops like jowar, bajra and pulses. Wetland farming is practiced in areas receiving more than 75 centimeter rainfall. It mainly grows water intensive crops such as rice and jute. For example, dryland farming is common in Rajasthan while wetland farming is common in West Bengal and Assam. Next question, what are the major problems of Indian agriculture? So major problems are small and fragmented land holdings, dependence on monsoon, soil degradation, declining groundwater, low investment in agriculture, regional disparities, climate change. These factors reduce agricultural productivity. Groundwater depletion in Punjab and Haryana has become a serious concern. Next question, how do land reforms improve agricultural development? So, land reforms improve agricultural development by ensuring fair land distribution, protecting tenants and encouraging efficient land use. They also reduce inequality and increase agricultural productivity. For example, land reform programs were introduced after the independence to abolish the zamindari system. Next question, why is agricultural diversification important in India? So agricultural diversification means growing different crops and promoting allied activities such as dairy farming, horticulture and fisheries. It increases farmers' income, reduces the risk of crop failure and creates more employment opportunities. For example, many farmers in Punjab are shifting from wheat rice cultivation to fruits, vegetables and dairy farming. So the next question is, why is crop diversification becoming essential in Indian agriculture? So crop diversification means growing a variety of crops instead of depending on one or two crops. It increases farmers' income, reduces risk of crop failure, improves soil fertility and promotes sustainable agriculture. For example, farmers in Punjab and Haryana are shifting from wheat rice system to fruits, vegetables, pulses and oil seeds. Next question, why is food security still a major concern despite the Green Revolution? So although the Green Revolution increased food grain production, problems such as population growth, regional disparities, poverty, climate change and unequal distribution of food still affect food security. Food security depends not only production but also accessibility and affordability. For example, Punjab has surplus food production, whereas some drought-prone regions still face food insecurity. Next question, how does climate change affect Indian agriculture? So, climate change causes irregular rainfall, rising temperature, floods and droughts. These changes reduce crop yield, increase the risk of crop failure and affect farmers' income. Therefore, climate resilient agriculture has become essential. For example, irregular monsoon affects rice production in eastern India and wheat production in northern India. Next question, why is sustainable agriculture the future of Indian farming? So, sustainable agriculture protects soil, water and biodiversity while maintaining agricultural productivity. It reduces excessive use of chemical fertilizers and groundwater and ensures long-term food security. For example, organic farming, integrated nutrient management and drip irrigation are sustainable agricultural practices. Next question, if you are appointed as a geography teacher, how will you explain the importance of land resources to class 11 students? So, I will explain that land is limited natural resource and supports agriculture, forest, industries and human settlements. Every economic activity depends directly or indirectly on land. Therefore, scientific land use planning and sustainable agriculture are essential for balanced regional development and food security. For example, the fertile Indo-Gangetic plain supports intensive agriculture, while the third desert is mainly used for grazing and dry land farming. So, there are few factual questions from this chapter. What is net sown area? So, net sown area is the total area shown with the crops at least once during an agricultural year. For example, if 100 hectares of land are cultivated once, the net sown area is 100 hectares. Next question, what is gross cropped area? So, gross cropped area is the total cropped area including area cultivated more than once in a year. For example, if the same 1 hectares are cultivated twice, the gross cropped area becomes 200 hectares. Next question, what is cropping intensity? So, cropping intensity is the ratio of gross cropped area to the net sown area expressed as percentage. It indicates how efficiently agricultural land is used. For example, Punjab and Haryana have high cropping intensity. Next question, which state is called the food bowl of India? So, Punjab is called the food bowl or granary of India because it produces a large quantity of wheat and rice. Next question, which crop occupies the largest cultivated area in India? So, rice occupies the largest cultivated area in India. It is the staple food of a large part of the population. Next question, which crop benefited the most from the Green Revolution? So, wheat benefited the most from the Green Revolution because high yielding variety seeds were first successfully introduced in wheat. For example, Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Next question, what is land degradation? So, land degradation is the decline in the quality and productivity of land due to natural and human activities. Major causes: soil erosion, mining, deforestation, overgrazing and excessive use of chemicals. Next question, what are wastelands? So, wastelands are lands that are not being used for agriculture or other productive purposes because of poor soil erosion, salinity or water logging. Next question, what is dryland farming? So, dryland farming is practiced in areas receiving less than 75 centimeter of annual rainfall. Farmers mainly grow drought resistant crops, for example bajra, jowar and pulses in Rajasthan. Next question, what is wetland farming? So wetland farming is practiced in areas receiving more than 75 centimeter of rainfall. It mainly grows water intensive crops, for example rice and jute in West Bengal and Assam. So the difference between gross cropped area and net sown area indicates the extent of multiple cropping and the level of agricultural development. Next question, what is agricultural diversification? So agricultural diversification means shifting from traditional fruit grain cultivation to high value crops and allied activities such as horticulture, dairy farming, fisheries and poultry. For example, farmers in Punjab are shifting from wheat rice cultivation to vegetables, fruits and dairy farming. Next question, what is mixed farming? So mixed farming is a system in which crop cultivation and livestock rearing are practiced together on the same farm. It increases farmers' income, improves soil fertility through organic manure and reduces the risk of crop failure. For example, Punjab, Haryana and many parts of Western Europe. Next question, what is shifting cultivation? So shifting cultivation is a primitive farming system in which forests are cut and burned, crops are grown for a few years and then farmers move to another place when soil fertility declines. For example, jhum cultivation in northeast India. Next question, what is commercial agriculture? So commercial agriculture is farming mainly for sale and profit rather than for family consumption. It uses modern technology, irrigation, HYV seeds and machinery. For example, cotton cultivation in Maharashtra and sugarcane cultivation in Uttar Pradesh. Next question, what is subsistence agriculture? So subsistence agriculture farming is mainly to meet the food requirement of the farmer's family. It generally practiced on small land holdings using traditional methods. For example, rice cultivation in many tribal and hilly regions. Next question, which soil is best for cotton cultivation? So black soil or regur soil is best for cotton cultivation because it has high moisture retaining capacity and rich in lime, iron and magnesium. For example, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Next question, which soil is best for rice cultivation? So alluvial soil is most suitable for rice cultivation because it is fertile and has good water holding capacity. For example, Indo-Gangetic Plain, West Bengal and Assam. Next question, why is black soil called self-plowing soil? So black soil develops deep cracks during the dry season. These cracks help the soil become naturally aerated and loosened. Therefore, it is called self-plowing soil. Next question, which irrigation method saves the maximum water? So drip irrigation saves the maximum water because water is supplied directly to the root zone of plants, reducing evaporation and wastage. It is more suitable for fruits, vegetables and sugarcane. Next question, why is Punjab called the food bowl in India? Punjab is called the food bowl of India because it has fertile alluvial soil, extensive irrigation, modern agricultural technology and high production of wheat and rice. It made greatest contribution during the Green Revolution. So thanks for listening. Keep listening for further audio classes. Thank you.